This time I'd like to make a video on ancient Mayan ET contact. The MindUnleashed.org is an article about ancient Mayans being in contact with ET civilizations. We will now check out the site. That is from the MindUnleashed.org. The Mexican government reveals Mayan documents proving extraterrestrial contact. Well, these are the artifacts that were released by the Mexican government, and it depicts practically an ET in spacesuit and a saucer-type aircraft, even apparently the world or our atmosphere, and yeah, even a comet or something. Let's read on. The reality of extraterrestrial contact with human civilization is becoming more clear by the month as streams of information about the extraterrestrial presence and past influence hits. While some of us still have our doubts about ET contact, many are starting to realize the truth that has been talked about for centuries. One big story involves the Mexican government, who has released documents and images of the objects found on the site at Calakmul, Mexico, which help prove the reality of ET contact. Thanks for this release can be given to the National Institute of Anthropology and History, INA, who found these fascinating discs in Mexico. This new discovery strikes a hefty blow to the secrecy that has been purposely created surrounding the true history of our Earth. The discs are of Mayan creation and were found about 80 years ago, according to the INA. These amazing archaeological pieces have been presented before and will be on the subject of the documentary produced by Raul Julia Levy and directed by Juan Carlos Rulfo, the winner of the 2006 Sundance Festival with his film, In the Pit. The documentary is currently titled Revelations of the Mayans 2012 and Beyond. Mexico released codices, artifacts and significant documents with evidence of Mayan extraterrestrial contact, and all of the information will be corroborated by archaeologists, he said. The Mexican government is not making the statement on their own. Everything we say, we're going to back it up. The Mexican government is releasing these state-held secrets that have been protected for about 80 years. Although photographs of the discs were first presented by Klaus Donner and Dr. Nassim Haramein during a conference held in Saarbrücken in Germany in June 2011. These are the discs in question. The number one here is believed to be the Earth's atmosphere that is depicted by two rings. The so-called 2 and 3 is believed to be a comet or asteroid moving towards Earth. Well, I don't know, this is a bell-shaped craft, or maybe this could be an asteroid behind it and this could be a bell-shaped craft in front of it. Number 4 is believed to be a specially designed spacecraft to hit or deflect the comet. As you can see, there is also some type of mechanical device that fights the comet. A 5 is believed to be an astronaut. Well, you can see it, it's an ET life form, probably a Grey. 6 is to be believed intelligently controlled craft, a spacecraft. And these are other artifacts depicting a reptilian type race, or the so-called Nibiru Anunnaki or Drako Race or Drako Empire. So these artifacts portray again a saucer-type aircraft or spacecraft, a ray of light, possibly a tractor beam or transport light, and some type of reptilian-type ET entity. Luis Augusto Garcia Rosado is the highest-ranking government official in Mexico that has gone on record about extraterrestrials. Rosado has spoken of contact between the Mayans and extraterrestrials, supported by translation of certain codices, which the government has kept secure in underground vaults for some time. He also mentioned landing pads in the jungle that are over 3,000 years old. No further information about the documentary has been given. Its IMDb page does exist, but there's currently no release date. Possibly one of the biggest reasons behind the documentary seem to have fallen apart is the fact that the producers seem to be fighting over contracts for the film. One would think that with information this important, something like fame, money and credit wouldn't be a deciding factor for releasing this film. So you can know that ancient Mayas, the Mayans themselves, were apparently in contact with ET civilizations. As the video that I did on ancient space travel, there were also artifacts or hieroglyphs in ancient Egypt portraying ET contact with Grey or other races from the galaxy. These hieroglyphs in ancient Egypt also depict some ancient type contact with ET civilizations. And even the ancient Babylonians, the Babylonian seals, or the Sumerian clay tablets, all portray our solar system in detail. So what does these artifacts suggest? That ancient civilizations were in contact with ET civilizations, and that these ET civilizations corresponded with these ancient civilizations. And according to various researchers on these subjects, ancient Sumer was a colony of the Aldebaranic Aryans from the Taurus Star System. In the Taurus Star System there is a sun or a star called Aldebaran, and surrounding it are 3 planets that are inhabited, and one of these planets is the planet Sumeria, and that is why the ancient colony here was named Sumer. The Aldebaranic language is comparable to German, according to these alternative researchers like Jan van Helsing. His book, The Inner Earth by Jan van Helsing, can be bought online, but is in German. What I wanted to point out is that, again, here are artifacts and proving that apparently ancient civilizations were in contact with ET civilizations, and that practically this never ceased. ET civilizations have been in contact with Contactees globally, or with the Imperial Germans, the so-called Third Reich phenomenon, that the Imperial Germany had contact with the Aldebaranic Aryans via transmedial mediums like Maria Orzic and Sigrun from the Vril Society. And these artifacts in Maya, in ancient Maya, prove again that ancient civilizations were in contact with ET civilizations, and one of the seals actually depict a reptilian type race. And that is practically what David Icke is talking about, that many civilizations depict some type of reptilian type entity, so-called Dracos, or the reptilians from the Drako Empire, and these are ETs, or a race of ETs that look like a lizard with their heads, but walk up like a man and have these brown, green skin, reptilian type skin, and that they have been in contact with mankind since the very beginning. And the story goes that they actually manipulated in the gene pool of mankind and created several sub-races. That is what the alternative researchers and theorists talk about, that mankind was actually a slave race. And that's how you can depict, as an example, the various different sub-races in Africa, that they actually genetically engineered the humans on this planet for full sustainable roles. Now the Aryans apparently were from a colony of ancient Sumer from the Aldebaranic Aryans, and the Chinese or the Africans or the Indian races, as an example, the red races, that's still speculation where they have this origin. The alternative researchers go on and say that that these various races have been settled here by other ET civilizations, totally surpassing practically the so-called Adam and Eve story from the Bible of Genesis. Now I know that by insight for myself that the human body is a really complex system. It is an engineered system. Every human being or every biological entity on this planet is so complex that it is made practically for its surroundings. Now you could argue by the chance and coincidence and probability theory that life just sprang out of nowhere and evolved apparently according to the probability theory. But I do not believe that. I believe that we were designed and created. But I do not take away the possibility that ET civilizations or even mankind at a certain point in the future, or even right now, can do genetic experimentation, genetic intermixing, or DNA synthesis, creating practically your own animals or human variances. I believe in this DUM basis, in the deep underground military basis, that they are actually genetic engineering animals and humans down there, just doing experimentation. So I believe that the shadow government is also doing these types of experiments. So if we can DNA synthesize our own DNA and create our own life forms, then it is possible to accept the fact that we were also genetically engineered hundreds if not thousands of years ago. Okay, let's assume thousands of years ago, because we still have a pretty recent history. But nevertheless, the fog of time is incredible in these times. The fog of time, what I mean with the fog of time is that if you look at history, according to the evidence that it's there, archaeological papers, documents, artifacts, if you look at all the evidence that's there, you can build up a certain view on the past. At the same time, the zeitgeist that rules over us today, the so-called materialistic zeitgeist, stating that the matter is all that there is, that you're nothing but mud actually, that there is no soul, that there's no God, states that we are simply looking at the past, and all these ancient civilizations that believe to be in contact with the gods, or in contact with ET civilizations, are delusional, are crazy, are psychotic practically. Ancient civilizations, ancient Aryan civilizations, were in contact with the gods. That's how you can understand the scriptures, the prophecies of the Zayah as an example, or the revelation of Isaias, stating that we will be living in a time where the voices of the gods will not be heard, because the mind of the people are too clouded. I just had a very interesting conversation with somebody on YouTube, and he said, well, aren't you sure, how can you be sure that OBEs, or astral projection, or remote viewing, or visionary input, or thought transference like telepathy is possible, or is it just your imagination playing you a hand? And I told him, if you induce astral projection or OBEs, you're completely conscious outside your body. If you induce it and experience it, you know for yourself that you have an eternal soul, and it is the soul transformation or spiritual transformation that you undergo. That's how you can understand that they promote the atheistical theories of Darwinism or the evolutionary theory to make everybody believe that there is no God, that there is no soul, that there is no plan, or that there is no goal in life, or that there is no reason for existing or for life itself. And I told them that contactees in the world are all contacted by respective entities, be it now from angels, be it now from demons, or be it now for the Galactic Federation of Light, be it now the Aldebaranic Aryans, be it now the Imperial Germans, or even the Dark Grey ETs. There are contactees globally who are in contact with etheric entities or astral bodies of, as an example, the Federation of Light or in the Imperial Germans. The Imperial Germans, you have to know that they evolved 70 and 80 years of technology and spiritual evolution have led to them creating technologies that can separate your soul and body, and hence they can actually remote travel all around the globe. Now think about that. So you have to understand that these ET civilizations are very advanced. They have ET spacecraft, they have high technological spacecraft that can be controlled via thoughts, via your own thoughts. And the sensory input goes practically to your third eye. We can only dream of the technologies that they have today. And they are going to make this a reality, this next dimensional jump of an Earth. The new golden age, all the prophecies of a new golden age will become hopefully a reality in the near future. And hopefully with us. Cheers.